Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I'm Natasha Bray. I am a success mastery coach and master healer, and I'm also the founder of the School of Healing Mastery and the creator of the Heart Healing method and certification that we teach through the School of Healing Mastery. So I'm here with the amazing Thuy Pham-Satrappe today, and welcome, Thuy. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm great. Thank you. Happy to be here.
I'm so glad to have you here. So Thuy is one of our recent heart healing graduates. So she's been in the certification a few months now, and she's just completed level 1. And this is where it starts to get really exciting, because you don't have to have completed the whole certification to start selling and using heart healing. And Thuy has just completed level 1, which is a massive achievement in itself. A lot of time and energy and effort's gone into this, and her clients that she's practiced with, they've been sharing like phenomenal results, phenomenal things that have been happening. So we're really proud of you, Thuy, for the amazing heart healing you're doing. And I invited Thuy to talk to us about her experience of heart healing and the work that she's doing in the world. She's also a retreat hostess as well. And she has a lot of other amazing talents as well that have led her to this point. So Thuy, first of all, I'm just going to hand it over to you just to tell us a little bit more about you and the amazing work that you're doing in the world.
Thanks. So I, just a little bit of background, I did corporate insurance sales for about 10 years, 10, 12 years, something in there. And then I decided to shift my focus to real estate. Did that for about 3 years, full-time, full-ish time. And then I was really diving into the personal development side of things. And I decided real estate wasn't where my heart was anymore, where my heart was, where my passion was. And part of my personal growth led me to heart healing, because a dear friend of mine, Gabby Abrams, is also certified. And so I had a session with her, and I'm like, this is great. And again, just the thought of getting certified hadn't occurred to me when I had done the session with her, because it was just, okay, this is just part of my healing journey. And it's going to be the year of Thuy. 2023 is going to be the year of Thuy. So I'm just going to trust that when I say yes to the things that feel right to me and say no to the things that don't feel good in my body, that the opportunities will present itself. And then just continue to do the work on myself, continue to heal. And that's basically what happened. So I took a class with Rebecca Lima for her Six Figure Society. One of her bonus classes was the masterclass that you hosted, talking about your success saboteurs. And I was just like, oh, this is all really interesting. I was actually listening to it as I was getting a massage. And I'm like, let me look up who this Natasha Bray person is, because I didn't watch it per se, but I just listened to it. And I was just like, this all sounds very interesting. And something about your air and your tone and just all of that, I was just like, I want to learn more about who this person is. And, you know, got on your Facebook, like started creeping on your Facebook profile a little bit, went to your website, and then I saw about the heart healing certification, and I'm like, this feels right. And because I've played with, so I'm a Gemini, I'm a human design, I'm a 5/1 in human design, so I'm a manifesting generator. So I have massive shiny ball syndrome. I'm interested in a lot of different things, and I want to do them all the time at the same time. And then a lot of times it tends to like fizzle out. But this one, or like I'm kind of interested, I was like, oh, that sounds cool, that sounds cool, that sounds cool. Whereas this one, it was like a full body, like yes type of experience that I had when I was considering this, because again, I was considering doing a number of other certifications, but I was just like, there was like, oh, that sounds interesting, but that sounds interesting, but, and so it never felt like a full, so I was waiting for that full body yes. And when I came across the concept of heart healing, I was just like, this feels like the full body yes. And then it just felt right. So I messaged you about it, or I did an application, and I was messaging you about some of your other offers that you had done. And the new cohort was just starting. So I was just like, okay, great. So let me just dive in. It's been great. So, and it feels like as I've been doing during the certification, as I was doing like the practice sessions, I'm like, oh my God, this is 1000% this feels right for me. So it's been great. What do you
Yeah,
think?
and obviously you've done a lot of personal development before, but was this your first time ever certifying in something
Yes,
in terms of a
yes.
healing mode?
So yes, I've been in the personal development world for about 8 years, 7, 8 years ish. Um, and you know, it was just kind of like I started with a coach, and then I started going to different retreats and things like that. And then I would say more seriously diving into it in the last like year, like 2 years or so. And then just really, really, really focusing on the mindset component. And there was a part of me that I've always liked to be a teacher. Like I used to tutor, and when I was younger, I used to want to be a teacher. But then I'm like, yeah, being a teacher is not practical. They don't make a lot of money, and they seem really stressed out all the time. So that's not a lifestyle that I want. Sorry, teachers who are watching this. I very much appreciate what you do. But like from a young age, I was just like the traditional education was not something I wanted to do. But then when I was on the real estate side, I started teaching and coaching on like the real estate side. So like that was fun because it's like I got to show people who were interested in how to do certain things and just kind of help them along. But like the true calling that I was kind of denying was just more on the personal development side and more on the healing side. And actually, Gabby Abrams mentioned in one of her classes, she's just like, "Are you sure you don't want to be a coach?" And I'm like, "No." I was still very much resistant to it. So it's just, I think, just the right opportunity presented itself at the right time, and it felt right. So because again, I had explored other certifications, but it just didn't fully feel right. So this one was the one for me.
And what do you think it is about this one, without naming any other certifications, but what do you think it is about this one that felt like it was the one?
It's the heart, the focus on the heart for sure. There's I'd say in the past year, roughly, there's something both from the logical scientific side of things, as well as like the woo side of things that's been calling the heart to me, where I feel like I've heard people use the term like I have a guarded heart, et cetera, which I never really felt like was the case with me. And but like just again in the concept and hearing the studies of how powerful the heart is and the mind body heart connection, and how you know the physics behind and the metaphysics and just behind the impact of the heart with everything else. Again, and it just felt like the universe has been like going to different retreats totally unrelated to heart healing, where it's like, oh, this is the power of the heart, this is the importance of the radiance of the heart. And again, just like that satisfies my very logical brain, which I taught myself to be very logical and analytical as an adaptive behaviorally. But and again, but also with the healing component of it, it felt right. And then so there was the logical part that was yes, and then it was just it felt right in my heart. Like there's the logical that I can explain, and then there's the part that like I don't really have an explanation except it just felt right for me. So like when I met my husband, I knew that it was easy, and
Yeah, he was the one. Your heart healing was the one.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like trusting your instinct, isn't it, as well? And what was your experience of the certification? So we're just at the point now, you literally just passed level 1 on Monday, a couple of days back. So far there's still so much to learn and expand and heal and to go, but you've done the main hard part. You've passed level 1, you're ready to get out there and start selling it now. What was your experience of the training and going through the certification?
I loved how thorough it felt. And again, with no point of comparison or anything like that. And I think we were 2 weeks in or 3 weeks in, and you/Heart Healing got like that really big honor about it being the equivalent of, was it like a university education or but it got like some really, what felt like a really big recognition. I was just like, oh, great. Because I got to the point where I'm like, I don't really care for the titles and that stuff as much anymore. But as far as the thoroughness of, okay, here's the practical component of the actual education, the how-to of the heart healing itself, And then there's also the business component of it. Like, here's, because you had like the intro of, hey, make sure you know that you're managing your finances correctly, because that's a part that is very easy to fall to the wayside. And then here's like how to, like, for your marketing, here's some tips and support around that. So it feels very complete and very thorough, as far as like, if I were not a business person and had never done business before, it would give me a really good and strong foundation. Because I look at a lot of smaller businesses and entrepreneurs, like, if I take, going from like the rehab world, there are a lot of contractors that are really good at swinging the hammer, but on the actual like bookkeeping side and doing the numbers and customer service and just all of that, like, they're not so strong in that suit. So that's where this gives that overview, like the business 101 plus heart healing. So I think that part's really cool.
Yes, there's a big emphasis. It is a business mastermind as much as it is a certification, and also a personal healing journey as well. And what's it been like to receive heart healing? Obviously, you've had some with me, but you've also had some with your practice partner as well. So, and you'd had it prior to joining the certification too. So what has it been like to receive heart healing and go through the personal transformation from that?
I think it's been essential, honestly. And I understand and fully support the importance of the practitioners being someone who has gone a certain way with their healing, and to be able to deliver that, and then to be able to hold space for people, just in the practice sessions that I've done. And I meant to count, but like, I don't know, I've done somewhere between like 10 and 15 at this point. And it's like a very wide breadth of experiences that people have, and, different childhood, different life experiences and things like that. And I know that if I had tried to do this from a wounded place or from a less healed place than I am right now, I felt like I wouldn't be able to support them the same way. And their transformations wouldn't be, because I'd probably be too caught up in my own story and my own traumas to really be able to focus on them and hold space for them and give them what they need. So that part's been great. And from the healing side for me, that's where the statement that I've made before was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? Kind of, right? I'm like, I just want to work on myself. I just want to heal, and then, kind of help people do the same. And that's where the question is like, you sure you don't want to just be a coach? So that's where the heart healing has been, it's really helped to access that feminine side, I feel. And that's another thing that, again, I feel like just the breadcrumbs that led me eventually to heart healing was one of the masks that I put up was being more masculine and learning to operate in a corporate world amongst men and just doing all the things. And by extension, dampening the feminine aspect of me. And this has helped to heal a lot of that too. So, among other childhood things, some of which I knew were there, some of them I wasn't so aware.
Yeah. It's like you said, it's so important for our own well-being as well as our clients' experience, that we are working on ourselves, and also, to be able to authentically sell something. I really believe that you have to fully believe in it by having that experience of the transformation yourself. So it is an essential part of the program. It cannot be missed. And it does reveal things and layers of healing, hidden wounds perhaps, that no matter how much healing or different modalities people might have gone through before, they just haven't actually revealed or seen some of this stuff that comes up. And then it allows you to see and understand deeper with your own clients too, and help give them that awareness and those breakthroughs too. How has it been delivering the sessions?
Great. I mean, it's interesting because almost at least half of them, because the numbers have gone up, but I would say the majority of the sessions I do, I'm like crying with the client. And I'm like, and this is coming from someone who, for at least a decade, I didn't allow myself to cry. And this is where it's just like, I feel for them, and I'm like holding that space with them, and I'm there, and I feel like I'm there with them. And then just to see them in that healing process. So to go from that deep and vulnerable, emotionally vulnerable place to just this place of lightness and ease and freedom, and just to watch just that transition has been, it's been amazing. And, you know, because I get to visually see it in front of me because we do the sessions via Zoom, and then also I can feel it too. And then they can feel it, which is obviously the key part. But from a practitioner standpoint, it's just so satisfying. And that's where I'm like, okay, this is where it really feels like I have that purpose. So that's where any resistance that I might have had to promoting something or marketing something is not there, because I stand behind it 1,000%. Like there's no hesitation as far as like, oh, you know, like I think this is pretty cool. Like, no, this is freaking amazing. And like everybody, I think would benefit from this. Like some people are going to be at a point where they're ready for it. Some people might not be ready for it yet. But it's watching, because I've gotten to deliver the session, and like, and I have my, you know, after I got my certification, I got like my first paid client within like an hour, which was awesome. But like, you know, just delivering even what's that?
That's fast action and fast results.
Yes, exactly. Yay. And it's, but like just delivering that, it has really helped. And I love that part of the certification. We're required to do, you know, I think it was at least 5 practice sessions. And I wanted to continue doing it. I didn't want to just like do the minimum, because I'm like, the more experience I can get, the more sold I am into the process and the technique itself, but then also like the confidence that I have. And then I get to see what my experience is, because there's the aspect where my imposter might come out and be like, oh, well, you know, she's able to deliver the certification because she has XYZ experience, but can I do that? So it helps to eliminate some of that.
Yeah. I think it's really great because obviously you haven't had any previous therapy training, to see actually that people, you know, you can have no previous therapy training and still our training is very thorough, very safe, it's highly accredited, and you can still get incredible results. You can get the same results as another person who might have 10 years previous experience delivering a different therapy. And I think that's also something really amazing about this, that anyone can get results from our training and from combining our modality with their own gifts. Yeah, because even though you might not have done any therapy training before, you are definitely someone who people feel is a healer or a coach and can help others. That's always been a passion of yours. So that is really, heart healing is just your sort of your vehicle to get it out into the world now, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like what you're saying, almost like it felt like a calling, and it feels like a purpose. And you know, all of the training videos that you watch of me delivering therapy, I'm crying in some of them delivering the therapy as well, like, because it's so powerful to see someone literally transform in 1 hour, you know, collapsing timelines over huge breakthroughs, huge healing, and often multi-generational healing as well. It is, I think it's impossible to not get emotional sometimes when you're delivering that.
Yeah, that's funny. Someone messaged me the other day, and he's like, you mean to tell me that in 1 hour you can heal something that's been blocking somebody for a lifetime? And I'm like, yeah, that's the power of the subconscious. But, you know, from a logical science brain, non-collapsing time standpoint, then it's just like, that sounds too good to be true, which I get that, because that's how I used to think too.
It does. And, you know, I've done a couple of interviews, and I was just speaking to a lady before, and we did say it's like collapsing time of the healing journey. And she's been a therapist for 24 years. And again, also the best results her clients get are with heart healing. So people who've they've moved further with heart healing in one session than 40 years of therapy sometimes. And it's like, and these are what real people are saying is happening with their clients. I'm not the one saying it, other people are saying it, you know. But also this, you know, we kind of agreed that it's actually really hard to fully explain how powerful it is, because sometimes it is a little bit unbelievable. Like, can that really happen in 1 hour? And it is really something that has to be experienced, I think, to fully feel that whole like, holy crap, what just happened? That was amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. Yeah, to feel it. I mean, I think so much of our world, our society is, we've been so taught to be so logical and so analytical and show me the proof first before anything else. And, you know, because there are shysters out there and there are a lot of people who are making promises that they can't keep and who can't deliver. So, you know, we're taught to be skeptical. We're taught to, you know, don't talk to strangers, like different things like that. And it's understandable why. And this is just, again, one of those things that, like, for me, if it feels like a full body yes, but like there's fear behind that, or there's other, you know, like what's the reason behind the no? Because sometimes it's like, okay, this feels like a scam, and my body is telling me it's a scam, probably a scam. Like, because I feel like we are so out of touch with trusting ourselves, and like we can feel that gut instinct telling us otherwise, but we ignore it and we do it anyway, or maybe we don't do it, but we don't acknowledge, and we were right, but we just don't acknowledge that, okay, it was like our instinct or our intuition that was telling us, like, this sounds too good to be true, and like it legit sounds too good to be true, as opposed to the, like, that sounds unbelievable, but I believe it. Like, there's something that is tugging at me to that this is real and that this is true. So it just, again, I think this healing and the ripple effect that it will have, and that it has already had, will help to encourage people to trust themselves more when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah. And obviously you already have your first paying client, which is amazing. And there's so much. We've only actually worked on one wound so far in level 1. We've got another 4 wounds that we're covering in level 2, and then you'll be able to then deliver those extra wounds. But even just healing the enoughness wound, which is a wound that everybody has, this feeling that we're not enough in some way, we're not intelligent enough, not successful enough, not pretty enough. Like, it can show up in so many different ways, not good enough. Even just healing that one wound has such a phenomenal impact and effect on people. And I think you've got your offer out at the moment around healing the enoughness wound. So where can people find out more about you and your heart healing offers? Where can they connect with you?
They can connect with me on Facebook. So the name, I'm not sure if my name shows up underneath Thuy Pham-Satrappe. To my knowledge, I'm the only Thuy Pham-Satrappe that exists in the world, so you won't find any others.
Definitely unique name to find you.
Yeah, funny story. I first started dating my husband. We were like a month or 2 months into dating, and we were invited to attend a party at a friend's house who lives in a gated community. And she's just like, hey, what's Ryan's last name so I can put his name at the gate? And I'm like, oh, it's Satrappe. She's like, Satrappe, Thuy Satrappe. She's like, that doesn't sound great. And I'm like, whoa. Like, we're 2 months into dating. Like, let's not. And I'm like, and plus I'd be keeping my last name anyway, my maiden name. I have no intention of changing my last name if and when I get married. And like, he's sitting probably 5 feet from me, and he's probably like, what are you talking about right now? Like, we barely started dating. So anyway, but I hyphenated. So yeah, no other Thuy Pham-Satrappe in the world currently that I've heard of.
Full name and a very unique name at the same time. So they can connect with you on Facebook, is that right? Yeah.
Yes. Yes. I'm also on Instagram at ThuyPS119. Facebook is more of my primary platform that I use. I'm old school. I'm a millennial, or a geriatric millennial.
I love that. We have a lot in common. We're both Geminis, we're both Mani-Gens, we're both healers, and now we are on this heart healing mission together, which I love.
I just I noticed earlier that we both have the ruffle sleeves too.
Matching ruffles as well. Thank you so much for being here. And finally, for anyone who is thinking of joining the Heart Healing certification, what might you say to them?
Do it. If it feels right for you, if you can remove the noise as to excuses and just different things like that, and if it feels right for you, do it. Like, don't let your fears, your doubts, the hesitations and stuff like that, don't let that stop you from doing it, because it's a gift to yourself. It's a gift to those around you. Just, I am in full support of it, because the more hearts we can heal, just honestly, the better place this world will be. Heal the world.
Yeah,
a better
love
place.
that. Thank you for sharing, and congratulations again. So much more to come.
Yeah.
We're at the start of a very exciting journey. And yeah, if any of you are listening thinking, actually, I want to check out this heart healing, I want to maybe certify in it myself and become a heart healer, you will be one of the leading people in the world trained in this modality. It is relatively small, but very mighty and powerful. But we've only got around 120, 130 practitioners in the world. So you'll be at the forefront of a very powerful new modality, which will eventually become mainstream. But at the moment, you get to be part of the start of a movement, which is really exciting. So if that interests you and you want to be able to help heal your clients, help them get deeper, faster, and safer transformational results in as little as 1 hour, if that calls to you, we are enrolling for the September cohort now. We only have 2 cohorts a year. So get in touch with me, Natasha Bray, on Facebook, or info@schoolofhealingmastery.com for more information. Thank you for being here. And that's it from us for now. Speak soon. Take care.